Well, good afternoon. Out taking another little hike. Got me a handy little gadget here, the selfie stick thing. It's kind of making it easier. So anyway, I thought I'd come down here to the beach. We've got just a gorgeous day. So well, I don't know if you can see much. I can't hardly see the screen here because it's so bright. I got sunglasses on. But anyway, no wind today. It's a blue sky, but it's got just a hazy kind of cloud cover on it. But I'm going to switch this over so you can see you can get a look at the mountains and the other side, my beach. So we're making our way down here right now. I've been having an interesting morning. A lot of stuff coming up in my morning meditations and just sitting thinking. Yeah, always seems to come back to the same thing as energy, and for me anyway, and considering how everything is relative to other things and what is important to us and what isn't. What is part of the decoration and what's serious, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, those kind of things I spend pondering every once in a while. Yeah, got a little bit of a breeze down here on the beach. Up off the beach, there wasn't anything. I thought maybe my eagle would be here. Haven't seen the osprey yet, but I've seen the eagle once or twice. There you go. Big old crow. So I'll flip this back. Okay, had a little bit of a hiccup. I hit the wrong button and cut it off. Now I had to start it again. Anyway, I'm gonna walk down here and check out a little bit of things and talk. Ooh. Yeah. Got rocks. There's a piece of quartz. Got some seashell action here on the beach. There's seaweed. That cormorant sitting out there on that buoy. There's the boulder field. Now these rocks all fell out of the sky when that cliff face was sitting here on the beach. It was higher than that, or about that same height at the time, and eroded out. And these big rocks, they just came straight down from wherever they were up above, and they haven't moved since. But it's just amazing how, to me anyway, I get all caught up in these things. But to see that whole thing used to be where we are standing now. And it's not like it was centuries ago, it was maybe a century ago. But it moves fairly fast, really. There were other buildings here on that cliff face that are no longer here at one time, but they weren't structures that are like what's there now. But that big old rock, it's native. It was never dropped here from anywhere other than out of a glacier at some point, and stuck in the side of that, what is now the hill, used to be here. Those old barnacles, they've been there a long time. Yeah. Back to the seawall. Oh, oh. We got a heron. Or no, yeah. See if we can get him to take off. He's got big wings. Hello, Mr. Heron. Oh, there's his crows. 2 crows. I had several people telling me that they liked just hearing the waves. It is neat when you're out here walking. It gives you a rhythm. Puts your body in tune. Gets you grounded. Oh, he's curious about what the heck I'm doing. Why don't you fly off and let everybody see how big you are? Come on. Yeah. Take off. I'm going to slip on this seaweed and bust my butt probably, but... Hello. Are you curious or just lazy? Mr. Heron? It's more like maybe a Miss Heron. I disturbed his dinner, or hers. When you look at these waves, to me that's a topic of wave action that I like to talk about quite often. And I sit and I watch them, and the realization is that the waves, the water, isn't actually going anywhere. They're just rising and dropping. And what's lapping up on the shore is just merely because the bottom, it's getting shallow, and so they don't have anywhere else to be. But then it gets me back to that whole physics thing about waves and particles. And when I see those waves, it brings that all to mind. I spent about the last, I don't know, a couple of weeks listening to Richard Feynman lectures. And God, he was an amazing guy. Just amazing to hear him. But what we were taught in school, a lot of it, he has straightened out for me, because there's things I've always felt were logical and true that everybody's saying, no, it's this way. And he kind of like gave me some vindication, at least in my own mind, that I was kind of on the right track. But the thing with physics is that the life I'm leading has led me to study things that are maybe totally opposite to what the physics say, but they fit to make everything work. They have to all be different. So the religious aspects of things have a purpose. They're there to teach us some things and give us perspectives to consider, but they're not a history book. They're not a science book. They're a political book, really. In any religion, it's politics. The high priest was the high executioner in many times, and the high officers and such they were no more than commanders in a military organization, really. And it's a propaganda game to me. And then the more studying I did when I started looking into archaeology was the things that they were finding that have been hidden for 1,000 years. And that they were actually hidden to keep themselves from being destroyed. And then it comes back to that was that church that was trying to hide the truth to promote the propaganda of its own belief or whatever. They took astrology and made it Christianity, and everybody buys it. Case in point, Julian calendar. Why in the hell is January 1st the beginning of the year? The year begins about 2 days ago. It's the summer solstice, the new beginning. This is the new year we're in right now. So all of that is religiously based. So I throw that stuff out, or at least put a filter over it. But it's a hard pill for a lot of people to swallow. You've been brought up your whole life. But then the internal stuff that I have that others aren't aware of because they haven't lived what I've done. So, and everybody has that thing in their life. Your knowledge, your expertise is tied to your life, and everything is geared to that. So what happens in your life is planned. What I've found is that we lay it all out ahead of time before we're ever born. And it's like a contract, an agreement we have with God. If you want to call him God, I refer to him as Source, because the God thing has too many attachments to it, I guess. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Because the more you get into spirituality, the more you find out that the physical and everything else really is still mine. What I see isn't necessarily what anybody else sees. I mean, I'm sure somebody could stand here right now and complain that the sky's not blue enough. Because it's got a cloud cover, it's just very high and very thin. But it is blocking some light. But it brings us a whole new perspective of the mountains, of the water, of the land, of the view. And things that we are interacting with is actually energy that we are producing. So I'm not really walking on the beach. I'm having an illusion that I am walking on the beach that is in reality. And reality is a projection of my consciousness. I am creating it as I'm standing here, walking here. That's what I have found, and that's what I was shown back when I was a kid and had my NDE, and I was then, memory was erased so that it was in me, but I had to have a key or a primer to activate that sequence so that memory would be free, and when it did, it would be a moment of clarity on something that I wasn't understanding, but I was ready to understand, if that makes sense. And the door would open and I would have a gush of feelings that, oh, okay, there's nothing here that is good or bad. This is what I want it to be. So now I'm interacting with this scenario. I've set the set. I've got the crew. I've got the actors in place. And everything I'm going to do is on automat. And I'm just going to cruise through this. And any interactions I have are going to be based on anything I project. When somebody walks up to me on the beach and I see them coming, I raise my hand, I wave, I say hi. That is my projection to them. I'm friendly, I'm happy, I might even know them and say, hey, it's great to see you again, whatever. That is my projection. Now, what they do, because they are also living the same thing I am, you or they get to create exactly what this interaction is going to be, and you've already done that. The players are a company. We all are in the same play repeatedly, life after life. We interact, we play different parts. It's very likely that we come back and play this very same life after time, every variation of this life, we get to feel it if we had done something different. So we program it that way, and we come back in here and we live it again. And at this time, we do things different, or different things happen. And it's all designed. It's to activate memories that give us feelings. And then somebody will say, well, why do we have to do that? Why don't we just live in that perfect place where everything's always so good, nothing can change, and it's just every day with just love and happiness, and pretty soon you stop feeling happy because it's normal. There's nothing compared to, and it becomes boring, for lack of another word. It just is monotonous, and loving every minute, and it's all joyous and fun and interesting, feeling good all the time. But now there's no duality. There's nothing to say this is good, because you don't know what isn't good. So that is why we are here. We know the feelings we want to learn in this lifetime, and we come back here and we do this. Donald Trump has got to be the biggest asshole I've ever seen. And I have been watching him since the 1980s, and I knew him and Jeffrey Epstein were compadres clear back then. They weren't friends that were interacting because of Epstein's island and his planes and shit. Hell no, Trump's a partner in that thing. But that's the part in this life he's supposed to play. And he gets to do it, whatever it is he wants to feel, he's doing. And we get to interact with those energies that he's pumping out there. But somebody's got to do it. We have a society we've created that is falling apart. And we're in the process of rebuilding it. And this is the time that it's supposed to change in this matrix we are playing in. The thing is, how do we know what we want until we can feel what it is we don't want? And how can we make this world the place where we spend eternity? This would be heaven on earth. The duality would make it heaven on earth. Otherwise, it would just be heaven and boring again. So that whole thing about being here is to learn. And we're going to learn what it is we do not want. So now we're going to create that which we do want and make that the place we live. I know that's a real mind deal bender for some people that just can't get over it. But if your life is a living hell, you ask to have it that way, to feel that. But your goal was to feel it and then get to the point where you can accept that that happened and not blame it on anybody else. Make no judgments on anything. You just accept it and move on. And that's hard. This life is brutal. And some of the things are deadly. But that's also in your plan. Nothing happens without a plan. Somebody in a movie said that once. But anyway, I'm back to the trail here, going back to my house. I think I'm going to flip this around so as we walk. So here's my path going back up. I'll even give you a look at my house. We'll walk and talk. So anyway, that's how I live my life that way now, and that's taken me 65 years before that awakening and awareness hit me. But when it did, it really took, because it didn't come alone. It came with a lot of baggage and a lot of stuff I didn't know about, and it all came down at me at one time. And it all keyed off at the moment my wife passed away, and I was here without her, without anybody really. The kids have moved away too, so this actually turned out to be the best part of my life, I think, because it has now opened my eyes to see things I couldn't even have imagined before. But now it's reality. In my life, this is my reality, and I created it, especially right now. My whole life on this island is my creation and my creation alone. I had no help. I built it. I designed it. I moved in it. I put the energy in here that I wanted to have. Oh, I gotta unlock the door to get myself out of here. Hey. Anyway, so that is how it works. It's my design, my life. I have nobody to blame for anything that goes wrong. The biggest thing is, oh, we got people on the beach now that I'm not there. The biggest thing is that I wasn't wrong. This side of my life has no downside. I gotta figure out how to hold this and get this gate locked again. Just a moment, please. I don't know why we have to have a lock on that thing. Anyway, okay, so now we're on the street. This is my neighborhood, or part of it. I actually live at the top of this hill. And everybody on the right-hand side of this street has ownership of that part of the beach that I own. We're all in on it. And everybody that's over here on the left-hand side is part of that community and that beach down there. Same beach, but it's all private access, so there's one place up here at a condominium that the public uses to get on the beach here, but nobody tells anybody they can't be there. The beach is, you can literally walk around this island on the beach if you wanted to. However, it's about a 135-mile walk to go circumnavigate this island. Got a lot of construction going on too. This used to be a little house that looked just about like that one. They just doing a remodel on it now. Neighborhood? Yeah. So, yeah, our life is ours. Beautiful views. $1 million houses. Every one of these start at $1 million on the tax roll. So you think spring has sprung?
It looks that way, doesn't it?
I hope so.
Nice day today, at least.
Yeah. So, this house right here, not the little one, but the one with the catapult ceiling that looks like a teepee. It was in Sunset Magazine back in the 60s. And there's another one down here too that was featured. Because this is 1967, this was when they did the development here for our houses. Mine never had a house on it because at the time it was the sales office property for the development back in the 60s all the way up until around 2000. So it had a trailer on it, and that they used for an office, and then it just sat there. And over the years, it just kind of fell apart. Nobody went in it, used it or anything. So somebody bought the property, they moved it off, and then we had 2004, and this area oh hell man, I lost my business in 2004 because of that damn economy thing, and they're doing it again right now. 2008 they did it again, and I had the same effect. If you get too wrapped up in those banks that are that aren't Fed members, they're just banks, they get replaced in the middle of the night. So anyway, they had a sales office there, and that house right up on the other side of the stop sign is mine. So that it just sat there. I came and made him an offer, got the property for a song because nobody wanted it. My son-in-law was looking at it to buy. He's a contractor. He wanted to build on it, and he didn't go through with it. He said it just didn't feel right. There was something with it he didn't like, so he didn't get it, and I did years later. So this is my little cottage. I have an art studio in the one building, my laundry in the second kitchen in the second building, and the big building is the house, a 1-bedroom, 400 square foot with a loft. And I do have my political side. You can see right there my poster. The thing wrapped in white is my display wall for when I have my art shows in the front yard. And this is my street. Across the street, we're back to Millionaire Acres. So anyway, that is my house, my home, my island, my beach. You guys have a good one.